The new U.S. ambassador, Kyle McCarter, well, not that new now, 5 months in service already, but probably new by dint of this being his first appearance for a TV interview. However, he has been very active on social media, engaging Kenyans with his tweets and style, raising eyebrows, meaning seeing him as a straight-shooting diplomatic offspring of the man that earned the name Rogue Ambassador, that is Smith Hempston. Ambassador McCarter, thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, Ambassador McCarter is familiar with Kenya. He and his wife, Victoria, lived in Kenya doing charity work with Each One Feed One International, which has an office in Mukodhima in Tharaka Nithi County. That is in the late 80s. That is why he spoke a bit of Swahili when we began, and he has promised to say a lot more in Swahili later on, so stand by for that. First, I mean, we'll talk about so many issues, and your priorities, corruption being a major thing you've been talking about all through, especially on Twitter. But first, the country's politics and the puzzling allegations of a plot to assassinate the deputy president, allegedly by cabinet secretaries. That's how shocking it can get. How do you weigh in on this matter?
Well, you know, the great part about this job is I left politics, and I don't have to get involved in it today.
That's it.
And I think the CS said it all.
How does that settle with you as a U.S. ambassador? Does it shock you?
My job is to focus on the things that are important to the United States and Kenya together. Mm-hmm. That's national security. Mm-hmm. That's economic prosperity, mm-hmm. and winning this war on thievery, which I have talked a lot about because I think it's important because what it does is takes away what the citizens deserve.
Right, this war on thievery that you've been talking about, and it's interesting how you use the word thievery.
Yeah, I don't use the C word, corruption.
The C word is corruption, okay.
Yeah.
First, I mean, the bickering in government has been, because of so many issues, the handshake and corruption. And, I mean, corruption is about those who think it's objective and some who say it is not objective. That is very political, and I'll come to that. First, let's take a look at some of the tweets that you've been tweeting that some have seen as somewhat provocative. This is one tweet saying Kenyan leaders are praying, this was during the National Prayer Day, Kenyan leaders are praying and asking for forgiveness for the sin of thievery at the 17th Annual National Prayer Breakfast. What a good start. Take the nation on the path of prosperity the Wananchi deserve. We must all do our part. Stop these thieves. And many saw this as bordering on sarcasm or mockery. What do you say?
Absolutely not. I was totally serious, and I don't joke on Twitter. I don't. You know what I saw there was politicians admitting mm-hmm. that they had failed and that they were asking forgiveness, and I indeed thought that was a good start. Listen, I think that's anytime you get people to recognize that, you need to champion that. And I believe you know, this thievery is taking away the opportunity for our youth. It's taking away the opportunity for people to start businesses, for people to have enough to eat. It's a huge burden on the poor. And amazing enough, this is over $8 billion, 800 billion Kenyan shillings, 800 billion, which ironically is the same cost of the Big Four. So I believe there's a choice to be made. What's good for the people, or we take on this challenge of ending of thievery.
And you've been getting a lot of responses on this tweet, over 1,000 replies. And one of them, responses was from Chris Oganas Makudhiambo, that's the tweet there, who said, Ambassador, I hope you're engaging the power of sarcasm. Career thieves need no prayers. Their prayers are a mockery to the nation and God. Before prayer, during prayer, and after prayer, these folks will remain the same. No business conducting this prayer ritual every year. And this is how you responded. We have that. Yeah, I'm trying to get that. In this atmosphere, we must celebrate every effort to recognize and take on thievery. Meaning you agree with him? That could have been sarcasm?
No, absolutely not. I believe that any time people start with asking forgiveness, it's a good thing. Now, that doesn't mean they shouldn't be held accountable for their actions.
That isn't enough.
That's not. No, that's not enough, because we have systems of law and order for a reason. And this is one of the things the United States is partnering with Kenya on. is shoring up and helping establish those systems of law and order. I mean, this is just what we did this last week with the FBI. DCI, DPP, their team was there learning from the FBI. We just graduated the longest course. It was a 10-week course from the FBI here in Kenya with over 30 Kenyans to teach them how to investigate, how to bring these criminals to justice. And so we're going to continue to work side by side to shore up these systems of law and order. No, forgiveness, is just a start.
Of course, but not the end. That's what you're saying. When talking about corruption, you've talked about corruption several times on your Twitter handle. Is this what you think is the biggest problem facing Kenya today?
See, I believe that this is the hole in the bucket. When you're trying to deliver what's best for the citizens, I mean, if you think about the big four, if you have the opportunity to deliver that, and by the time you get to the destination, the bucket's empty because of thievery, definitely it's worth taking on. It's an injustice to the people of Kenya. And the United States is going to work side by side against this to win this battle over thievery. Do you think that the war against graft is working? You've talked about it before, but is it working? Are we on the right track? Well, I think we'll know when we see people prosecuted. I think that's what a lot of people...
Convicted or prosecuted?
Yeah, well, I mean, convicted and held accountable to the law. I think that's what everybody's looking for. And, and that's not the only thing I do. I mean, we're the United States is working and succeeding on this area of national security.
And we'll come to that.
Yeah, we're working side by side on these issues.
My question then is, you're not satisfied until you see convictions, isn't it?
Well, I think we have to all do our part, and that's what I've said before.
All right. It has brought about divisions in government. One side saying it's not objective, as I told you earlier. You threw your weight in one of the tweets behind the president when he said it's time to act and stop this talking. If only we could do what we are saying.
Yeah.
Are you concerned that you could be caught up in the politics?
No,
because there's this thing about corruption.
Because here, I will always show respect for the elected officials because the people put them there. And if I show disrespect for an elected official, whether anyone likes them or doesn't like them, someone may think they're corrupt or not corrupt, I have to show respect for them because the people put them there. And so my respect for the people of Kenya is going to be shown in higher respect the elected leaders. And again, the great thing about coming from the Illinois Senate is I'm out of politics and I can take a stand for what's right and what's right for both of our nations.
One of the things you talked to Kenyans about on Twitter, this is an interesting one, when you say corruption, this is Swahili, I wish I could let you read. Do you want to read it? This is Swahili. Just for viewers.
Is this about the...
yeah.
Is this about the umbwa?
Yeah.
Corruption ni kama umbwa kubwa na nono, anakuja kwa boma lako kila siku, anaingia ndani ya gala lako na kukula chakula chako. Unampampasa kisha anaenda kwa boma ingine na wananchi wanashangaa kwa nini wako na njaa.
Okay. So lakini kama thievery, you go ahead to say mbo huyo angekuwa mgondi. That's
Mgondi. Yeah, that's right. Because here's well, many people have become accustomed to the culture. And I don't think it's right. I think the way that thieves are treated...
They're pampered? That's almost what you're saying. Loose translation. Do you think they're pampered in Kenya?
They're dealt with more directly. And I think if we look at it for what it is, hopefully we will take more action and take it more seriously.
Okay. The last thing on this corruption issue. I can never have any last words on corruption ever. But Sarah Mashari on Twitter was responding to you on this one, and she said, number one, begin at severely restricting movement, that is, off or ban those involved in corruption. And there's a reported list already of leaders or politicians that you've banned. You'll confirm that or deny to us. So ban those involved in corruption and their spouses and children into the US. Staunch flow of their funds into the US with nowhere to run. Thieves will think twice about stealing public funds and will take better care. How do you respond to Sarah?
Well, we are we are taking a stand, and we will do everything within the law to deny those who have broken the law to travel to the United States.
Do you have any that have been stopped right now? Because that was a report that...
You know, this is, according to the law, I can't tell you that. And I know everyone wants a list, but we're not going to put out a list. I mean, we're just going to do our job according to the law.
Fine. That is according to the law. But do you think that is one of the problems of that law? Because some say, what if the law, your laws, allowed for those lists to be made public? Maybe it will deter people from corruption.
Well, we're going to use everything that we have, you know, in our toolbox to fight this. And I know a lot of people would like to, you know, they'd like to see a headline, they'd like to see a list. That's just not something we're going to do. But believe me, we're taking a firm stand against this thievery, and it will be reflected in how we issue visas.
Okay, I'll come to security shortly. First, on the economic front, we'll also come to what is in this economic ties between US and Kenya, for Kenyans, because you've been seeing you active on that front as well. But first, on the economic front, observers point to the fact that economically the US is losing to China, especially in key infrastructure projects, not only in Kenya, but Africa as a whole. Does that concern you?
No, because...
In Kenya, for example, yeah.
No, it doesn't, because the United States and Kenya have a very special strategic relationship, which was elevated just this last year when our president sat down and met. And it means something. And it means that what we're going to be doing together, we're going to be doing even more, investing even more into Kenya. And you know, when we do, what we do with Kenya is going to be shown as very respectful. You know, if you're a friend, you should do things in a respectful manner. We believe that it is very important for us to focus on putting Kenya on the pathway to self-reliance. Dependency is not what we want. It's not what the people of Kenya deserve. And we're going to do everything we can to work side by side in a very respectful manner. In the way that we price projects, we're not going to overprice projects. We're going to be very open in our contracts as to how we're doing business. We're going to adhere to the ethical standards of our law, which is much higher than anyone else's. And I believe that we're going to show a difference in how we do business. Right.
Globally, of course, there's the issue about US and China, what many call economic wars. You're the ambassador of Kenya, as you said, you'll speak about that only. But I mean, a US military think tank, that is Africa Center for Strategic Studies, actually warned that Chinese infrastructure loans are primarily intended to extend Beijing's political influence and military reach. What is your opinion on that?
Well, again, I think you're going to see a difference in the way we do business.
From now on?
As it has been, and especially in the future. I think you're going to see, you know, I come from a business background. I haven't been in the State Department my whole life. So, you know, talking about these kinds of deals, it comes very natural to me. And I got a lot of people that want to come and invest in Kenya. And you know, we've got to make this work. We can't fail at this. The reason we can't fail is because you've got 70% of the population that is 30 years and younger. We have to do what's right for them. We have to give them that opportunity. And we have to rejuvenate this economy. We have to bump it up to a pace that outpaces them, because they are going to want to be, they want the opportunity. That's all they want is opportunity. They've got the ability, they've got the creativity, the innovation, they got the drive. Our Kenyan youth have what it takes. We just got to give them the opportunity to succeed.
And indeed, you've really been focusing on the youth. In the time that you've been here, we've been witnessing that, definitely. And as you speak about what's in this for Kenyans, and especially the youth, I'll look at another tweet here, where you talked about, you're responding to somebody actually, and you said, and you do this a lot, you really engage people. And that's
I do respond to tweets, yes.
Yeah, and you said, the road from Nairobi to Mombasa will be the model for how infrastructure should be done in Africa. A third of the, what was that, cyst? Couldn't get that straight. But okay, you said 4 lanes with interchanges.
A third of the cost.
A third of the cost.
Yeah.
That's what you meant. Yeah, that's a typo. A third of the cost, 4 lanes with interchanges 3 times as thick and durable and paid back in 20 years. Watch and see. Red as taking a swipe at the infrastructure projects. Oh, as opposed to who? The Chinese ones you're seeing?
Anyway, I think this is the way we're going to do business. It doesn't matter how anybody else does it. This is the way we're going to do it.
Just saying yours will be the model.
I believe so. I believe so. I think that's what friends do. I think you do it in a transparent way. You do it with the best of quality. You do it at the lowest of price. And you employ Kenyans. 70% of the project will be Kenyans. And then we build in guarantees of apprenticeship every kilometer. You see, the second road shouldn't be made by Americans. The second road should be made by Kenyans. After we've helped them to know how to do this. That's what self-reliance is about. Taking yourself out of a job. And you know, I have this vision for Kenya that I really believe it can take place. And that is that Kenya is no longer just the beneficiary of foreign aid, but a benefactor for its neighbors, sharing its prosperity that it has experienced with all of East Africa. I believe that can take place. I don't believe we have long to get this done. I think we have this pause for peace that we have to take advantage of. And I think we've got to be, you know, very straightforward with dealing with issues like thievery. We just can't mess around. These are tough discussions to have, and sometimes they may be offensive to some people. Yeah. But it's better that we have these crucial conversations now, so that we can experience what's good for the people in the future.
All that you're saying is almost unlike the complaints you've been having against these Chinese companies and how they've been doing their businesses. Would you agree?
I don't have to complain.
Okay.
I have to do what the president said, and that's quit talking about it and just do it.
Okay. One of the priorities you've highlighted is to grow and expand U.S.-Kenya commerce and trade. What more should the Kenyan entrepreneur be expecting, and especially the youth? What is in it for them?
Well, I think this next generation has got to decide that they will be different. That they will have, that they will not give up, that they will have hope, because the truth is, I think they're very bitter, and I think they've got some reason to be bitter. I think some of it's justified. When I think they've missed the opportunity that they really deserve, and I'll give you an example. Here's a response from on Twitter: as youth, all we want is a country where we are safe, healthy, have enough food, and have access to fair opportunities. I mean, this is why I'm on Twitter, so I can hear exactly what people are saying, and we have to make this work. We can't fail at this. We have to give them this opportunity, and if they will stay positive, if they will continue to serve other people, and they will choose to have integrity, I believe they're going to change this nation.
All right. The U.S. also plays a key role in stability in the Horn of Africa, security, especially the war against terror, and I'll come to that. Right now, however, 2 countries that are really strategic for you, Kenya and Somalia, you know, in a conflict over maritime borders. What is your position first as the U.S. on the dispute? Well,
we are actively engaging by being willing to facilitate a settlement on this, because I believe a settlement is best. I don't believe
out of court.
I think out of court is the way it happens, because there's too much potential between the 2 countries. There's too much potential and really necessity that we succeed on the border and defeat Al-Shabaab. It is imperative that, you know, for it to have the security of this, to have peace in this country, that we decimate Al-Shabaab. That's important. We're going to continue to work side by side doing what we're doing. We're succeeding at that every day. I believe we're safer every day. And 2, there's trade opportunities between Somalia and Kenya that really need to be taken advantage of. This can be, we can be great neighbors, and that success can go to both countries.
So you're actively involved in this?
Yes.
Hopefully we'll get a settlement out of court.
Well, we're going to do everything we can to facilitate. Obviously, it's not our job to negotiate, but Kenya and Somalia, I believe, have the ability to come together and be great neighbors.
Are you satisfied? You've talked about it, just touched on it, but are you satisfied with the war against terror? What more can be done?
Well, I think every day gets better. but we have to be vigilant. We can't quit. We can't assume that we've won. We just can't assume that it's over because we've had one small victory. I think we have to keep the pressure on and win the war.
All right. Finally, there is personality, or your personality, especially your presence on Twitter. And we talked about this in the beginning. And I read a few tweets about this in response to your many tweets before. Mohamed Wali said, Balozi, why do I have this feeling that we would soon be seeing you eating nyama choma with Wagadhika Dhu and other commoners at Uhura at Kanua Bar and Restaurant Kingero, like Smith Hempstone used to.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of comparisons with that. Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi also said, Balozi is a Republican. Republicans are transparently honest with all. They tell the world as it is. Expect more truth from him.
Yeah. Well, listen, I am very straightforward, and I don't think we have time to waste. I think what's at stake here for Kenya is too important. I think the future is too bright. I say this everywhere I go, and that is, I believe that Kenya will be the shining star of democracy and prosperity for East Africa. And as Kenya goes, so goes East Africa. As East Africa goes, so goes the continent. Kenya has the ability to start that prosperity throughout the continent.
Okay, you can have your last word to Kenyans tonight, and you're at liberty to do the last sentence in Swahili. Okay.
Well, nina furaha kuwa hapa.
Nafurahi kuwa hapa. Okay.
And I do appreciate it. You know, delivering the message to the Kenyan people is important as the ambassador. Knowing that the United States is going to work side by side them and be a friend is a very important message. And sometimes we haven't told that story real well, but we're going to tell it better. And we're going to continue to invest billions and billions of shillings and working side by side as friends. And I believe we're going to see this prosperity come to Kenya very soon.
As you say that, I mean, are we expecting more investment in infrastructure right now from the U.S.?
Well, I think we're going to continue to see investments like with Microsoft, with the MasterCard, and all these different companies coming. There's going to be more coming, and we're going to focus on opportunity for the young people of this country.
All right, Ambassador Karl McCarter is the U.S. Ambassador to Kenya. It's a pleasure hosting you tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for making time for us tonight. Text us 22422 again. Tweet us. Use the hashtag NEWSNIGHT. We're back with business and sports news after